Part 40. I changed my profession and became a concept god, shocking the world with one knife. Author, How Like the Human World. Chapter 391. Suren flew all the way, and encountered various powerful monsters trying to attack him along the way. However, these monsters do not pose any threat to Suren now, and he can easily deal with them. After flying at full strength for an hour, a simple-looking bronze hall appeared in front of Suren. Before Suren could get close, countless sharp arrows and magic bombarded him. Suren didn't even look at these things. He took one step forward and arrived at the entrance of the hall in the next second. Who are you? How dare you break into our temple without permission? The moment Suren landed, hundreds of people immediately surrounded him. It's you. Suren. Why are you here? Someone recognized Suren's appearance and immediately exclaimed. It seems I'm quite famous. Suren smiled and walked into the hall. Stop. These people also wanted to stop Suren, but in the next second they were all frozen in place. I don't think you have been deceived and forced. If I don't kill you, just stand at the door and reflect for 3 days. Suren stepped into the palace, and a bronze gate blocked the intersection in front of him. Suren raised the knife and dropped it. The bronze door burst with a crash and he fell to the ground. Suren originally thought that the headquarters of the night god cult would be a maze, but he didn't expect to come directly to the temple after breaking open the door. At this moment, a shadow flashed out from the darkness and struck directly behind Suren. Roll. Suren snorted coldly. The black shadow immediately vomited blood and flew out. The body hit the wall of the hall with a loud noise and then fell to the ground. Shadow looked at the young man in front of him in horror. It had only been a short time before he was sent flying out without even being able to get close to the opponent's body. The gap between the two is too big. Suren didn't look at him and walked slowly into the hall. How do you know where my Yeshen cult is? In the main hall's seat, the leader of the Yeshen cult looked at Suren curiously. Haha, leader, a subordinate told the master. Duan Yu, who was standing at the side of the hall, smiled, then bowed and walked to Suren. Welcome master. Everyone in the hall roared angrily when they saw this. Duan Jian, you traitor. Blood Demon, Shui Dongliu and several elders all glared at Duan Yu. They didn't expect that it was Duan Jing who betrayed them. Now that Suren dared to come, he was sure of it. Even Yeshen had said not to provoke Suren recently. This shows that Suren is no longer something they can deal with. I see, I look down on you a little. The leader of the night god cult did not show any emotion, or perhaps the white jade mask on his head hid his inner thoughts. Suren walked to the center of the hall and stopped, completely ignoring the people on both sides who were staring at him eagerly. Today, I will come to you to settle accounts and collect some interest. Suren, don't be too arrogant, this is the night god sect. Do you really think you can come and leave whenever you want? An elder of the night god sect couldn't stand Suren's arrogant attitude and cursed angrily. You talk too much, go and be quiet for a while. Suren glanced at this person from the corner of his eye. Then everyone in the hall watched as the elder closed his eyes and fell to the ground. Hiss. Everyone in the hall took a breath and looked at the body on the ground in horror. What skill is this? Is it a death spell? Who is this guy? Seeing this, the leader of the night god sect couldn't help but shake his body. This ability also surprised him. Where's your night god? Let him come out and let's talk. To be honest, you are too weak and I have no interest. Faced with Suren's arrogant attitude, everyone could only lower their heads. This is simply not something they can handle. Shui Dongliu lowered his head very low. He was glad in his heart that when he met Suren, Suren did not have such terrifying strength. Otherwise he would have died 10,000 times over. The leader of the night god sect still calmly said after hearing this. Actually, Master Yagami knew that you were coming, so he asked us to wait for you here in advance. Oh, he knows quite a lot. Tell him to hurry up, I don't have time to waste more time with him. As soon as Suran finished speaking, a black mist broke through the space in the hall and flew out. Are you Yagami? He, not bad. When we met for the first time, Taoist friend Suran turned out to be a very talented person. He is worthy of being a dragon or a phoenix among men, a man of extraordinary stature. I'm a little surprised at how well you flatter me. Haha, fellow Taoist Suren was able to kill 6 patrol angels and 6 supervisors at such a young age. This achievement deserves such praise. Okay, I'm not here to listen to your flattery, I'm here to collect interest. You Yeshen cult have dealt with me a lot, right? How to settle this account? Hearing this, Yeshen laughed and said, that's easy to say. We, the Yagod sect, have prepared thousands of spirit stones for you as an apology, and I have also given you a message. What do you think? After Yeshen finished speaking, a ring flew out from the black mist. This thing is called a storage ring. You only need to concentrate to open it. Thousands of spiritual stones have been placed in it. Suren took the ring and looked at it. There were indeed tens of thousands of spiritual stones inside. Spirit stones are different from energy stones. According to the exchange ratio, one spirit stone can be exchanged for 10,000 energy stones. This is equivalent to 100 million energy raw stones. You must know that Longguo almost emptied its treasury to collect 1 million raw energy stones. This is indeed a big deal for Yeshen cult. Suren, who was about to get angry, now felt a little embarrassed. Eaters are soft-mouthed, but takers are short-handed. Although this is compensation, it is also real money. What? I'm waiting sincerely, right? When Yeshen took out these spiritual stones, his heart was bleeding. But there was an instruction from above that this thing must be given to Suren. Even if the two parties cannot be friends, they cannot be enemies. Didn't you say there is another news? What news? Let's hear it. Suren put away the space ring and looked at the black mist. Yeshen said in a deep voice, the Sky Empire's Northern Territory Survey Department and Supervision Department have ordered the Star Destroyer fleet to head to Blue Star. They will destroy the planet tomorrow at the latest. You must also know that one of the people from the Supervision Department you killed was the grandson of the director of the Northern Territory Supervision Department. The Northern Territory is now furious. Suren was a little surprised when he heard the news. Unexpectedly, the other party reacted so fiercely and even planned to destroy Blue Star directly. At this time, Yeshen's voice sounded again. Suren, you and I are actually on the same journey. As for the previous things, they are all misunderstandings. We all have a common enemy, which is the Sky and Sky Empire. I hope we can turn our hostility into friendship, defeat the Sky and Sky Empire together, and bring peace to the public. Only by defeating the Sky and Sky Empire can everyone be free and break through restrictions to a wider world. We, the Yagod cult, have been working on this, so I want to invite you to join. Suren smiled when he heard this. Really? Should I join the Night God cult? Or join your Wushuan alliance? As soon as these words came out, the black fog that enveloped Yeshen trembled. How do you know about the Wushuan alliance? Fourth update, please give me a gift please. I changed my profession and became a concept god, shocking the world with one knife. Author, How Like the Human World. Chapter 392. Yagami was obviously a little too surprised. He didn't know where Suren got the news. If the Sky Empire knew that the Wushuan alliance still remained and reported it to Tianyu, then none of them would be able to escape. The 10,000 Dao Immortal Palace had killed all the people from the Wushuan alliance who had surpassed the previous level. Only some fish that slipped through the net went into hiding to try to make a comeback. The Yashin cult was the name he gave to hide his identity. You founded the Night God cult to recruit talented people from various exiled places, so that they can go to the outside world and break through to the previous realm for your own use, right? Am I right? Although this was just Suran's guess, he believed that the purpose of the Night God sect was not far from this. These people in the Yagod sect are not very old in terms of age, but their strength is quite astonishing. There are at least 3 professional level 9 professionals, and dozens of professional level 8 and above. It can be said that these people are all first-rate geniuses. Yashen was silent after hearing this. Although he did not answer Suran's question, the answer was already obvious. Suran guessed correctly. The Yashen cult seeks geniuses for its own use so that it can secretly strengthen itself. Suran, I have to say, you are very smart. Now that you already know, I don't have to hide anything. You and I are all sinners in the eyes of those in Wandeo Immortal Palace. They don't regard us as human beings at all. You have also seen the 12 people who came this time. They will kill whoever they want. There is no humanity at all. Are we inherently deserving of their unequal treatment? We are all human beings, why should we be inferior to them since we were born? Since the world is unfair, then we should resist and create a fair world. Is this wrong? When Yashen said this, he was almost roaring, and the black mist surrounding him began to vibrate violently. When everyone in the hall heard these impassioned words, their eyes were already red. Follow Lord Yagamai to the death. Suran glanced around the people in the hall and couldn't help but smile. Why are you laughing? Yashen asked in confusion, is there anything wrong with what I said? You said you want to create a fair world. The world is inherently unfair, how do you create a fair world? I think you want to create a world belonging to the Wushuan Alliance. Actually, you are no different from Wandeo Immortal Palace. The only difference is that you didn't win that war. After hearing these words, Yagamai somewhat admired the young man in front of him. Suren was right. If the Wushuan Alliance wins, the guilty people staying here will be the people of Wandeo Immortal Palace. In fact, there is no difference between us. However, as one of the leaders, he cannot be as casual as Suren. He needs to guide his men to arouse their hatred for Wandeo Immortal Palace. Only then will they have a chance to take revenge. Okay, don't give me chicken soup. I don't want to do this. We have different views and we don't want to work together. This time, for the sake of the message you sent me, I will spare your life. After Suren finished speaking, he turned around and prepared to leave. Wait a minute, Suren. Yashen called Suren. Do you want to deal with the Star Destroyer fleet sent by the Northern Territory alone? What? Can't it? Yashen heard this and sneered. Do you know how powerful a Star Destroyer fleet is? Do you think they can compete with those patrol angels and supervisors? Without our help, you will die. Oh. Suren ignored his reminder and instantly dug a wormhole and left with Duan Yu. You. When Yashen saw this, the black fog of anger dissipated a lot. It's hard for a reckless person to become a great person. If you refuse to listen to good advice and insist on dying alone, you will regret it sometimes. Yashen finished chanting with some hatred for iron and steel, and then tore apart the space and left here. Everyone in the hall looked at each other. Lord Yagamai actually let him go? Is this reasonable? No, why do I feel that Suren spared Lord Yagamai? SHH, don't talk nonsense. Everyone quickly shut up. At this time, the leader of the Night God cult was looking at the raw energy stones in his storage space in a daze, and did not hear what others were talking about. He originally wanted to find an opportunity to give these things to Suren and then identify himself to him. But Suren left so quickly that he had no chance to give the things away. Oh, I hope I can still meet him when I go to the outside world. Donghai City. Suren returned here again. But this time he did not go to the orphanage, but left Duan Yu and Poison Dragon King here. Suren was worried if two ninth-level professionals were left here. Moreover, both of them have absorbed a trace of the energy of Hongmeng Purple Qi, and they will have the opportunity to break through the limitations and reach the previous level in the future. After taking one last look at this place, Suren left. When he reappeared, Suren and Yun 11 had already arrived at Dongtian Pass through the teleportation array between heaven and earth. This is Suren's first time coming to Tianguan. Suren raised his head and looked at the sky. It was so dark that it was heart-stopping. There was no light source or end in sight. Quick, 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 Zhishangwan is in an emergency. Professionals with level 8 or above 50 should go quickly to support. Urgent warning sounds sounded from the sky gate. After Suren walked out of the teleportation array, he saw groups of troops heading in the same direction. What happened? Suren stopped a person who ran past him. The man glanced at Suren, frowned and said quickly. The defensive shield of Zhishangwan was broken, and two more rank 9 experts were killed and injured. The extraterrestrial demon seized the opportunity and is gathering a large force to attack Zhishangwan. If they are allowed to break through Zishan Pass, Blue Star will be in danger. Stop holding me back, I have to rush over to support you. Feel sorry. Suren lets him go. The man looked at Suren strangely, and was still wondering why he, a rank 8 professional, was held captive by a young boy and unable to move. But he didn't think much and quickly rushed towards the Zhishangwan location. It seems I have to go to Zishan Pass. Suren turned his head and glanced at Yun 11 beside him. It was them who caused this incident. No. It wasn't me, it was that Ming Sheng who did it. Yun 11 lowered her head, not daring to look at Suren. You don't need to explain to me. I hope you can do more later. Yes, don't worry, I will try my best to help you. Yun 11 nodded quickly. She couldn't defeat Suren, but she could easily clean up the extraterrestrial demons. In fact, these extraterrestrial demons are also monsters they raise, and their purpose is naturally to wear down every person in the 9th realm of human beings in the exiled land. One is to have them stationed here all year round to resist the extraterrestrial demons, so that they have no time to find a way to break through the lower 9th realm. The second is to consume them to death at the hands of these extraterrestrial demons. If there are more powerful people in the lower 9th realm of mankind, the number of extraterrestrial demons will be increased. If the number of powerful people in the lower 9 realms of mankind decreases, the number of extraterrestrial demons will be reduced. This can act as a balancing restriction. Suren also understood the reason why he didn't kill all these extraterrestrial demons when the sword god went out. Because doing so will only treat the symptoms but not the root cause. Even if they are all killed at once, the Sky and Sky Empire will still send the same number of extraterritorial demons over after discovering it. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I changed my profession and became a concept god, shocking the world with one knife. Author, How Like the Human World. Chapter 393. But this time, Suren is ready to cure this problem. Yagamai was right, they had the same enemy. It's just that Suren doesn't want to be with them. Zhishangwan. At this time, a huge gap had been torn open in the defensive shield. The battlefield has also been moved to the city wall. A steady stream of extraterrestrial demons are pouring into Zishan Pass. Without the protection of the shield, human resistance seemed so feeble in the face of the vast army of demons. The city wall was already bleeding profusely, and the blood gathered into a river and flowed towards the low-lying areas. The strong smell of blood filled the entire battlefield. The corpses of countless human professionals and extraterrestrial demons fell on it, like a purgatory on Earth. The support is here, why hasn't it arrived yet? The support has arrived, but we really can't hold on. The soldiers guarding the city at Zhishangwan were shouting. No, we can't hold on anymore. We really tried our best. Zishangwan, it's over. A feeling of despair spread in people's hearts. Humanity has been fighting against extraterrestrial demons for thousands of years, but they are still going to lose. Zishangwan is broken. Blue Star will fully open its doors to these extraterrestrial demons. The humans of Blue Star are doomed. Everyone looked back at Blue Star with reluctance in their eyes. There were their family and friends, and their home from childhood to adulthood. Ha ha ha, children, let me kill you. Blue Star is finally ours. Kill all these humans, and we will be the master of Blue Star from now on. Countless extraterrestrial demons looked crazy. Keng. A crisp sound of a knife sounded at Zishan Pass. The many extraterrestrial demons who were originally noisy suddenly became stagnant. Then they collectively fell to the ground. No matter it was a high-level extraterrestrial demon or a low-level extraterritorial demon, they all fell to the ground at the same time, not one of them fell. Many soldiers defending Zishan Pass did not realize what happened. Many people were even continuing to perform mechanical slashing movements. They didn't stop until someone next to them grabbed them. Fa, what happened? Everyone looked at the corpses of many extraterrestrial demons at their feet with blank expressions. Why are these extraterrestrial demons all dead? Suren quickly walked over with Yun 11. After taking a look at the huge gap in the shield, Suren ordered Yun 11. Go out and kill all the extraterrestrial demons outside, leaving no one behind. Yun 11 nodded and flew out through the gap in the shield. Suren. Did you do it just now? A gray-haired old man came over. Looking at his appearance, he looked seriously injured. Mr. Shen, we meet again. The old man in front of him was none other than Mr. Shen, whom Suren had met once in Kyoto. He seems to be the younger brother of the sword god. Hey, it's really you. I have been listening to the king's mention of you, but I never thought that you really have strength beyond the 9th rank. Did the king know about the situation here and asked you to help us? Suren shook his head. No, I want to go out and take a look outside. If this happens, I'll help you. Go outside. When Mr. Shen heard this, he was stunned for a moment. Then he nodded again. That's right. Just like senior brother, you are not someone that this world can trap. If there is a chance, can you help me find my senior brother and ask him to find a way to send a message back? Just say that my junior brother misses him. Okay, if I see senior sword god, I will definitely tell him. Thank you very much. At this time, several more old men gathered over, and they all looked at Suren with strange eyes. Old Shen, is this the young man from your dragon kingdom who you often mention, who claims to be the sword god who surpassed your senior brother? Old Shen nodded proudly when he heard this. Yes, it's him. His name is Suren. After receiving Mr. Shen's affirmative reply, several old men looked at Suren carefully, and then couldn't help but admired at the same time. Sure enough, a hero comes from a boy. By the way, what kind of strength does he have? We old guys tried our best and almost lost Tianguan. When he came, how could he kill these extraterrestrial demons with one strike? Also, if I read correctly, the girl who went out just now was one of the people who killed Laolin and destroyed the shield, right? Why does it look like that girl is listening to Suren? In fact, Mr. Shen was also confused. Seeing that everyone wanted to know, Suren didn't hide it from them. The 12 people who were traveling with her committed evil on Blue Star, and I have already killed them all. She is the only one left because I need her to lead the way. When everyone heard this, they suddenly realized. So that's it? It was precisely because of this that she knelt down in guilt. They don't care about the extraterrestrial demons who can be destroyed easily. For these people, it is a lifetime. All the soldiers guarding the city cheered and cried together. Yun 11 nodded. You understood. If you want to kneel down, It's only right that we kneel down to you. They didn't know the truth, they only knew that the girl in front of them helped them eliminate the extraterrestrial demon. Well, I'm getting old and have forgotten that these extraterrestrial demons probably won't pose a threat to you. Suren looked at her and asked. Finally, we no longer have to be invaded by extraterrestrial demons. Now, decades have passed, and in the blink of an eye, his head is covered with white hair, and he is no longer what he was before. Looking at the old man and the crowd who were shaking with excitement, Yoon 11 seemed to suddenly understand. After hearing this, an old man asked with trembling hands. I heard that it's extremely dangerous outside, and there are countless extraterrestrial demons blocking the road. It's almost impossible to survive. Only Yoon 11 knew that they were the ones who released the demons from outside the territory. Everyone in Zishan Gate saluted Suren and watched them disappear outside Tianguan. He must destroy the Star Destroyer fleet before they arrive outside the Blue Star. Hey, wait a minute, you said you want her to lead the way? Don't you want to go outside? We have killed all the extraterrestrial demons outside. Suren, have a nice journey. Girl, get up, what are you doing? You are our benefactor. Yoon 11 knelt on the ground with a thud and kowtowed to all the soldiers guarding the city. While a few people were chatting, Yoon 11 flew back wearing a battle armor. Bon voyage. He has come to Tianguan to resist the extraterrestrial demons since his 8th turn. Mr. Shen, seniors, let's go. They had waited for this moment for too long. When several old people said this, they suddenly slapped their foreheads. Sorry. Suren has more important things to deal with and cannot stay here for long. We won. Okay, after 32 years, I finally see this day. The old man quickly helped Yoon 11 up. Is what you said true? Yes. I changed my profession and became a concept god, shocking the world with one knife. Author, How Like the Human World. Chapter 394. The two of them were flying through the dark universe, but Suren suddenly discovered a problem. There is still air in this space, but it's not a vacuum. Was he deceived in his previous life? Impossible. After flying for a while, Yoon 11 took out something like a metal bracelet and handed it to Suren. Suren, I'll give you this communication device. We can use this to communicate when we get out of here later. Just put it on your hand. Suren took the communication device she handed over and put it on his right hand. He is not afraid that the other party will plot against him. Why use this communication? Suren asked. Right now we are leaving this protected area and entering a vacuum environment. Without this, we can't communicate. At that time, you only need to silently say what you want to say, and I will hear it. Oh, and also, can you withstand living in a vacuum environment? I don't mean to doubt your strength, I'm just asking. Yoon 11 looked at Suren nervously. Even now, she still can't get rid of the shadow Suren brought to her. What strength is needed? Suren wasn't quite sure about this. Yoon 11 heard the words and replied softly. The physical body that has reached the 5th realm or above can move around the universe without any hindrance. I know, just lead the way and don't worry about me. The rules in the universe are also rules. Nowadays, there are laws everywhere, and the quality of the environment cannot affect Suren. Yoon 11 nodded and led Suren to fly in one direction. There is no distinction between up, down, left and right in the universe, so Suren doesn't know which direction she is flying. However, after the two of them flew at full speed for dozens of minutes, they finally came to something that looked like a dark curtain with no end in sight. This is the canopy. It can block all light sources from entering here, and it can also prevent the outside demons from escaping from here. Yoon 11 stretched out her palm and placed it on the curtain. Instantly, the sky in front opened like an elevator door to a 3-meter high door, and behind the door was a sealed space. The two walked into the space inside the door, and the door closed. At this time, a mechanical voice sounded. "We are about to enter a vacuum environment. Please wear protective armor and check if there is anything missing. Please reply after checking." Yoon 11 carefully inspected the white armor on her body. After putting down the helmet, she looked at Suren. Suren nodded. Yoon 11 saw it and said softly, "After checking, you can turn it on. The sealed compartment will open in 5 seconds, please be prepared." 5, 4, 1. As the countdown ends, the door opens. A magnificent starry sky instantly appeared before Suren's eyes. Blue Star cannot see this starry sky and will never see it. Moreover, when Suren left the curtain, he found that all the digital attributes of his body disappeared, and all the data was converted into the power of the physical body. This proves that he has broken away from the digital body control of the Sky and Sky Empire. I just don't know how to upgrade in the future. It's definitely not possible to defeat monsters. I guess I need to rely on energy stones or the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. And another point is that when Suren checked the job transfer tasks, the tasks had always existed and had not disappeared. That means that in fact, Suren did not accept the mission at the experimental temple of the Sky and Sky Empire at all, but the mission he accepted from the system that appeared from the beginning and has not had any movement until now. If he hadn't walked out of Blue Star, Suren would have almost forgotten that he actually had a system. At this time, Yoon 11's voice sounded in Suren's mind, coming from the communication bracelet on his hand. "If you want to stop the Star Destroyer fleet, we need to go to the Stargate ahead and wait for them. They will be teleported here through the Stargate." "What is the Stargate?" Suren passed this question through the bracelet. After hearing this, Yoon 11 explained, "The Stargate is a kind of interstellar teleportation gate installed by the Empire in order to better govern various major regions. As long as you have the specific coordinates of the Stargate, you can immediately teleport to each other through them if you find any Stargate in the universe. Its function is the same as the teleportation array. However, the Stargate can transport hundreds of thousands of people or even a very large fleet group at one time." Suren nodded after hearing this. The two of them flew quickly again, heading towards the Stargate here. After flying far away, Suren looked back, and he could barely see the whole picture clearly from where Blue Star was. The entire Blue Star and the sun seemed to be wrapped in a black ball. Without a pass order, people inside can't get out, and people outside can't get in. From a distance, Blue Star indeed looked like he was locked in a cage. "Yoon 11, Lansing, didn't you send someone to watch over it?" Suren suddenly thought of such a question. Since it's a cage prison, there should be a jailer, right? Of course, he lives in the canopy. It's just that I'm the inspector, so I don't need his approval for my passage. Then what's the name of the person who's looking after Blue Star? Suren thought of a possibility. If he guessed correctly, it would probably be him. The people of the Wushuan Alliance did not die, but changed their identities and hid. Suren shook his head. Yoon 11 tilted her head and thought about it. It seemed that they had discussed this issue when a group of them came. Maybe Suren can go beyond the fifth realm. No wonder he is not on Blue Star, but he can come and go to Blue Star unimpeded. Those galaxy groups were as insignificant in front of it as Suren was in front of the Stargate. The Stargate is closed at this time and will only be opened during teleportation. Why do you think I'm no match for them? Hearing this name, Suren secretly thought that it was indeed the case. She only judged that Suren had at least the strength of the upper 5 realms based on his ability to physically walk in the universe. Yeshen is the person who guards the prison of Blue Star, and he is also a member of the Wushuan Alliance. The blood-colored river stretches across the starry sky, looking so majestic and magnificent. Suren asked, pointing to a long bloody river in the deep sky in the distance. Suren had discovered this long river of blood long ago. No matter where he was, he could not see its end or its origin. But, the Star Destroyer fleet has very strong firepower. Even those in the upper 5 realms would not dare to confront the Star Destroyer fleet head-on. Name. No need. I'll kill every one of them when they come out. Just wait here and wait. The entire Stargate is several thousand meters high and several thousand meters wide. However, is such a young Shangui realm really not a young prodigy who came out of Tianyu to experience? I remembered, it seemed like it was a night shift. There was no words after that. After the two of them flew in the starry sky for several hours, a huge Stargate emitting blue light appeared in front of them. In her opinion, a head-on confrontation with the Star Destroyer fleet was no different than facing death. Only those who hide in the dark and make sneak attacks and take the opportunity to enter the Star Destroyer and kill everyone inside have a chance to win. Yun 11 was speechless for a moment. Yes, Suren never said what state he was in. By the way, what is that? Yakashi is the night god. At this time, Yun 11 asked. At this time, Yun 11 suddenly became worried about Suren, and even she found out about it. Should we find a place to hide and wait for the Star Destroyers to arrive? When Suren thought about it, if this bloody river could be shown so clearly from such a long distance, its true form would be boundless. Suren smiled when he heard this. Are you really going to fight them head-on? I didn't say I was in the upper 5th realm. Suren stood at its feet, as insignificant as 2 ants. I changed my profession and became a concept god, shocking the world with one knife. Author, How Like the Human World. Chapter 395. Yun 11 looked up at the bloody river, and then explained. We call them rivers of blood. They have been in the universe since recorded history. They. How many rivers of blood are there? Yun 11 nodded. There are countless such rivers of blood in the universe, large and small. The best energy stone, bloodstone, is dug from the blood river. Hearing this word, Suren thought of his job change mission. He needed bloodstones to change jobs, and he needed a lot of them. I heard that bloodstones are very scarce. Logically speaking, this blood river is so huge, why are the bloodstones in it so scarce? Yun 11 shook her head. Bloodstones are not scarce. There are an extremely large number of bloodstones in the blood river. They flow with the blood river and go to various places in the universe. It's just that it's extremely difficult to get the bloodstone. Bloodstorms and some powerful blood creatures often appear in the blood river. There is also the weird and unpredictable blood energy, which can corrode people's will and make people sink into the river of blood and become its puppet. Each one of these could easily take the life of the quarryman. Even the strong men from the major sects in the heavenly domain must be careful when entering the blood river. If you are not careful, you will be swallowed by the blood river. So, bloodstone is not that easy to obtain. After hearing this, Suren nodded. One day he would go and see for himself. I am a person with the skills of the river god. As long as it is a river, you have to be under my control. The bloodstone that is extremely difficult for others to obtain may be very easy for me. Originally, Suren thought that for his job transfer mission, he would need to rob houses to collect so many bloodstones. Now it seems that it is not necessary. Just go to the blood river and get it. Seeing Suren staring at the river of blood, Yun 11 said with some suspicion. You don't want to go to the blood river to collect bloodstones by yourself, do you? If you don't understand the safe area, it's very dangerous to go there rashly. I heard that a powerful person in the heavenly realm who reached the peak of the 7th realm wanted to obtain more bloodstones to break through the realm. After entering the blood river at risk, he was unfortunately swallowed by the blood river and was completely lost there. His physical body is still there now, but he has become a puppet of the blood river. If any living being comes near, he will kill him. Suren smiled and looked back. I didn't say I was going, I just wanted to take a look. Also, shouldn't you encourage me to die quickly so that you can escape my clutches? What are you worried about me for? I. Yoon 11 lowered her head and said in a voice like a mosquito. When have I ever been worried about you? I'm just reminding you. If you don't want to hear it, forget it. Suren looked at her and smiled again before continuing to look at the blood river. After Suren left Blue Star, Yeshen also brought the key members of the Yagod cult to the sky where he lived. Lord Yagamai, where is this place? The people of the night god looked at the environment here curiously. The whole room was bright, and it was surrounded by various technological equipment. Looking out the window, they can also see stars of various colors. Is this the legendary starry sky? I didn't expect it to look like this. It looks really beautiful. You can't see anything at night on the blue star. Compared with this, it's so far behind. Is this the world outside? Is every bright light a planet? A group of people turning 8 and 9 were staring at the starry sky outside like curious babies. This was the first time they saw such beautiful and magnificent scenery. Okay, you guys should rest here first and don't move around. I'm going to find other people to discuss something. Yes, Lord Yagamai. Everyone nodded. Yagamai turned into black mist and left the room they were in and came to another room. The canopy is like a huge space station, but the canopy in this place has secretly become the territory of the Wushuan Alliance. In another room, 7 or 8 people with different expressions were gathering here. Seeing Yeshen coming over, a few people started to speak. Have you made all arrangements for the night errand? Well, you can take them to our base at any time. That's good. Now that the Northern Territory is shaken, Blue Star may not be able to survive. If we try to stop it, we will be exposed and our many years of operation will be ruined. Several other people saw this and shook their heads helplessly. Lei Bao's temper is just like his name, and even Kyuzuryu can't get rid of the things he believes in. So what? He wants to die, and he wants us to die with him? I won't go anyway, whoever wants to go can go. Once they are exposed, more people from the Wushuan Alliance will be involved. The Star Destroyer fleet from the North Territory must be arriving soon. A man with a lightning mark on his forehead snorted coldly when he heard this. After Lei Bao finished speaking, he sat down on the chair. It's too risky. Wandeo Immortal Palace may also conduct a major inspection. Yezi looked at the remaining 4 people who didn't shake their heads. After several people looked at each other, one person said. Yezi looked at the other people. The other people nodded after hearing this. Everyone, what do you think? This method is very good. When everyone said this, Yezi suddenly said. The alloy chair creaked and shook as he sat on it, and electric current could be vaguely seen flowing on it. How about this? Let's sneak over quietly. If we can save Suren without exposing our identity, we will take action. If we really can't save him, then we will evacuate immediately. In addition to Thunderstorm, 3 of the 8 people shook their heads and expressed that they did not want to wade into this muddy water. Then it won't be as simple as 1 or 2 people dying. Thunderstorm, having said that, the higher UPS have told us to win over Suren. He is dead and it will be difficult for us to deal with each other. Exposing their identity for a Suren was not worth it in their opinion. In that case, let's set off now. This place is still a certain distance from the Stargate. Thunderstorm, what do you think? What do you think? This way we can also give an explanation to the superiors. They have managed to survive for so many years and will never allow themselves to be exposed. Humph, he's going to die, and we can't control him. Hearing this, Lei Bao also nodded and said, okay, as long as our identities are not exposed, anything is fine. Even if the higher-ups want to punish me, I will admit it. The Sky and Sky Empire will definitely pursue them with all their strength and kill them all. But Suren went. From what I saw, he didn't look like he was faking it. He really wanted to destroy the Star Destroyer fleet. So, we had to abandon the planet. And there is some truth to what he said. This matter needs to be considered in the long run. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I changed my profession and became a concept god, shocking the world with one knife. Author, How Like the Human World. Chapter 396. The closest stargate to the main star of the northern territory of the Sky Empire is located. The Star Destroyer fleet is ready to depart. The entire fleet group consists of a star-destroying main ship with a bow, patrol ships with a bow with 4 bows, and frigates with a bow of 8. The Star Destroyer main ship is equipped with a Star Destroyer cannon and hundreds of aerial combat aircraft. If the Star Destroyer cannon is fully charged, it can destroy a planet with just one shot. This is also one of the most powerful destructive weapons in the Sky and Sky Empire. Is the Empire going to launch a war somewhere? On a patrol ship, the fat and thin men in charge of controlling the patrol ship were discussing. In fact, many people in the fleet, like them, still don't know where they are going next. The superiors just arranged for them to come to their respective posts and be on standby. Did you know that the grandson of the director of the supervision department died? The fat man looked at the main ship outside the window and said, I know, who doesn't know about this? It must have spread throughout the entire northern territory. Does this have anything to do with our trip? The thin man was a little confused. Of course it does. I heard that the place we are going to this time is called Blue Star. The grandson of the director of the supervision department died on this planet, and now he is furious. The territory lord has no choice but to agree to him sending our fleet group to destroy Blue Star to avenge the director of the supervision department. I see, then is this Blue Star very strong? Hearing this, the fat man who just explained suddenly laughed. You may not believe it, but Blue Star is actually a place of exile. The criminals inside are only in the 9th level at most. It's not right. The thin man said in confusion, I heard that a total of 6 patrol angels and 6 inspectors died, right? Except for the patrol angel who died at the beginning, the rest of them all have sky armor. Then how could someone in the exiled land be able to kill them? Isn't it a mistake? How could I be mistaken? The place where the life lamp went out was on the Blue Star. Originally, a patrol angel died. The higher UPS were planning to investigate who killed him and then capture him for trial. As a result, more than 10 people died at once, and this matter became a big deal. The fat man clapped his hands, shook his head and said, there is no need to investigate who did it now. The higher UPS are planning to destroy Blue Star directly. No matter who did it, kill them all. There will be no omissions. There are at least tens of billions of people on Blue Star, and they all have to be buried with them. Those criminals are brave enough, but they still underestimate the Empire. Do you really think you can compete with the Empire with some strength? While the two were chatting happily, a medium-thick voice came from the main control room. Set off. The two stopped chatting, but stood ready, staring intently at the main control room, ready to receive orders at any time. As this voice sounded, the stargate not far from the fleet also slowly opened. In the control room of the Star Destroyer main ship, after the captain entered the coordinates of the stargate near Blue Star, blue light shone in the stargate. The fleet group slowly sailed into the stargate until it completely disappeared. The other side of the stargate. Suren and the two have been guarding here. And Yezi's group also quietly moved to a distance and hid. Seeing Suren just guarding the door of the stargate, several people suddenly felt a headache. No, does this kid have a brain problem? Doesn't he know how powerful the Star Destroyer fleet is? Just standing there so stupidly, do you believe that when the Star Destroyer fleet comes out of the stargate, they can hit him head on and kill him? Thunderstorm couldn't stand it anymore, he didn't want to come in the first place. Seeing this situation now, he had decided to give up saving Suren. How about reminding him? Let him find a place to hide first. Yakashi suggested. He was forced to spend his own money to send away 10,000 spirit stones. If Suren dies, he will suffer a big loss. No, it's too late. If you go out now, you will be exposed. Look, the Stargate is already open. Several people looked over and saw the Stargate slowly opening, which meant that something was teleported from somewhere else. Look at this, within 3 minutes, the Star Destroyer fleet will definitely come out. Although the Stargate can carry out ultra-long distance transmission, the farther the distance, the longer it will take. Let's just watch here. If we can, we will save him. If we can't, we will pull him down. Oh, that's the only way it can be. On Suren's side, Yun 11 saw the Stargate open and immediately told Suren that something was coming. According to her estimate, it would take 3 minutes to pass through the Stargate from the Northern Territory to here. I'm really not afraid of your Star Destroyers. All right. Yun 11 stamped her feet angrily. Suren took out the knife and waited quietly outside the Stargate for the other party's arrival. Humph, you still care about me, just take care of yourself. Although the powerful light laser cannon is not as powerful as the Star Destroyer cannon on the main ship, it can easily kill people below the 5th realm. I'm also sick. I really believe you can confront the Star Destroyer fleet head-on. How long has it been since then? Are you no longer afraid of yourself? Although sound could not be transmitted in the universe, Suren still felt a harsh roar through the Stargate. Hearing this, Yun 11 almost laughed in anger at Suren. Suren interrupted her nagging little mouth. After hearing this, Suren still looked calm and did not forget to direct Yun 11. Suren glanced at her inexplicably. Suren spread his hands and said. Before she realized it, her hands had unknowingly scratched a deep scratch on the surface of the meteorite where she was hiding. You actually called the Empire's strongest battle fleet scrappy. It's so outrageous that you forgot your identity as a prisoner, right? Yun 11 hid behind a meteorite, staring closely at the young man standing in front of the Stargate, and kept mumbling. You are too conceited. Suren decided to let her know what a master is and what a prisoner is after he cleans up the Star Destroyer fleet. More than 2 minutes have passed at this time. Isn't it? They can't move at will, aren't they just targets? I'll let you pretend. It's best if you die, so that I can be free. In my opinion, it's just a pile of junk. The threat to me is not as direct as that of someone with a high level. Buzz. I'm afraid you can't even break the shield. When you first met me, you were so scared that you couldn't speak. Now you dare to talk back to yourself? If you can avoid it, you'd better avoid it and don't take it hard. You stay away, I won't have time to worry about you when the fight starts. It's finally here, I've been waiting for you for a long time. Besides. Yun 11 waved her hand and flew away from here. The first ones to come out must be the patrol ships. Our Star Destroyer fleet group in the northern region is equipped with 4 bow patrol ships. Each bow patrol ship is extremely fast and equipped with strong light laser cannons. Being beaten? Do you know that the energy shield on the main ship can resist the continuous attacks of the strong men in the upper 6 realms? I changed my profession and became a concept god, shocking the world with one knife. Author, How Like the Human World. Chapter 397. The silver-white patrol ship with 4 bows took the lead to sail out of the Stargate. They are the pioneers of path exploration. If there is any abnormality, they will promptly notify the main ship. Huh? Who is this person? He doesn't move away when he sees us, and he dares to stop here. Kill him and don't let anyone get close to the main ship. The bright laser cannons on the 4 bow patrol ships were all aimed at Suren. Get away, What are you doing standing there? They are going to attack you. Yun 11's anxious voice came from the communicator. After hearing this, Suren smiled slightly and said, "Watch it." Huh? What are you looking at? Watch out, this sword will let you know what absolute strength is. Before the strong light laser cannon fired, Suren's knife had already slashed out. The seemingly ordinary sword light draws a beautiful arc in the starry sky. Kill 4 ships with one sword. The blue shields on the 4 bow patrol ships had just lit up and were already shattered with a click. Immediately afterwards, the 4 bow patrol ship exploded instantly, and the explosion's fire illuminated the area near the Stargate. Countless metal fragments flew around. Suren said to the communicator, "How are they?" "I said they are scrap metal. Look, they are everywhere." Yun 11 opened her mouth wide at this time and stretched her neck to watch this extremely shocking scene. The 4 bow patrol ship was destroyed with one knife. Looking at the confident young man, she finally understood why he dared to fight against the Star Destroyer fleet alone. It turns out that he is not stupid at all, it is just because he is too strong. Okay, you're awesome. But don't be complacent. The main fleet is coming out soon. It is not comparable to the patrol ships. Be careful. Although she knew that Suren was capable of killing patrol ships instantly, Yun 11 still did not forget to tell Suren to be careful in dealing with the main fleet behind. He'd better come out quickly, I don't have time to wait here. Do you think they would retreat immediately if they knew the patrol ship was gone? Suren was really worried that they had run away. It's impossible. The transmission of the Stargate is one way. The main fleet can only stay inside for a while, but they still have to come out. But after they know that the patrol ship is gone, they will definitely be more vigilant. When they come out, they will definitely be in a full defensive posture. After listening to Yun 11's explanation, Suren nodded. That's good. I'm afraid they'll run away. Far away from the Stargate, where Yezi and others are hiding. Seeing Suren kill the patrol ship on all 4 bows with one strike, several people in the night camp felt a little numb. Yezi, has this kid always been such a dick? This is a patrol ship with 4 bows. Even if we attack with all our strength, it will take at least half an hour to solve it. Can this kid be killed with just one blow? Except for Yeshi, the remaining few people are not from around Blue Star. Seeing Suren take action, they were really shocked. Although Suren had killed so many patrol angels and supervisors, at most they believed that Suren's true strength was only around the upper 3 realms. But when they met today, they suspected that Suren's strength might be higher than theirs. No wonder the higher UPS attach so much importance to him. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I'm talking about Yezi, you are responsible for supervising Blue Star, and you don't know his specific strength. After hearing this, Yezi was speechless and said, "How do I know? The most people he has fought with on Blue Star are from the lower 9th realm. Those patrol angels only came recently. If I knew he was so strong, I wouldn't have sent anyone to fight him. What should we do next? If he really destroys the Star Destroyer fleet, should we go out and say hello to him? Forget it, we didn't go out just now. We'll wait until the fight is over before we go out. Doesn't that mean we were watching and didn't go to help? It doesn't feel good to do this. It's best not to go out and just pretend we haven't been here. Oh, okay, let's wait and see. I want to see what kind of strength this kid is." Inside the Stargate at this time. Since all 4 bow patrol ships lost contact, the captain of the main fleet had already noticed something was wrong. "Captain, is there anyone outside the Stargate who dares to intercept us?" The captain looked at the gray bow patrol ship on the screen in the control room and frowned. How long did the 4 bow patrol ship hold on just now? The captain looked to the deputy captain and asked. "This, seems like less than 5 seconds. The captain nodded upon hearing this. Looks like we're in big trouble. The other party must have been prepared, but we were still careless. We just don't know how many people they have and how many advanced weapons they have waiting for us. In fact, we can't blame them for being careless. What he emphasizes is killing with one strike and never giving the opponent a chance. This is a complete waste of energy. Fire with all your strength and kill him. However, the situation outside the Stargate was somewhat beyond his expectation. Now, leave the Stargate. Then, the most advanced energy defense shield was chopped into pieces as if it were made of paper. A stream of light flew out from the exploded main ship, and when he looked back, his eyes were filled with horror. But the patrol ship fragments still floating outside the Stargate told him. All air and space fighter pilots immediately went to their own fighter planes to take off and be on standby. But it was obvious that he still underestimated his opponent this time. But reality gave them a big slap in the face. Countless sparks exploded outside the Stargate, as beautiful as fireworks. He couldn't avoid this battle, so he could only fight it. Everyone obeys the order. The Star Destroyer captain's thick voice echoed throughout the fleet. Not to mention intercepting the powerful Star Destroyer fleet. The main ship and frigates turn on the highest level energy defense shields. There is only one person and one knife outside. Orders were passed on one after another. None of the many enemies and advanced weapons imagined appeared. The Star Destroyer captain only saw the boy in front of him smiling slightly at the main ship. Also broken along with the energy shield were the frigates and the entire bow Star Destroyer. The Sky Empire's so-called strongest battle fleet was destroyed in an instant. The captain's voice sounded, and the entire fleet sailed towards the Stargate in order. The Sky Empire has ruled this star field for thousands of years. Who dares to intercept them halfway? The Star Destroyer captain looked ahead. That was where the Stargate exit was. If they took another step, they would appear outside the Stargate. A small place of exile for sinners actually needed to dispatch their Star Destroyer fleet. The enemy is the young man with the knife. When he takes action, he never looks at the age of the other party. After leaving the Stargate, all air and space fighters quickly dispersed to look for the enemy. Hundreds of aerial fighter jets were seen rising vertically, surrounding the main ship, ready to fight at any time. Open the highest level energy defense shield, replenish energy for all weapons, and be ready for battle at any time. So basically everyone didn't take it seriously. Regarding this mission, everyone, including himself, felt that the Empire was making a fuss out of a molehill. The frigate is in front and the main ship is behind. I changed my profession and became a concept god, shocking the world with one knife. Author, How Like the Human World. Chapter 398. Fuck. Abnormal. What kind of strength is this kid? The most advanced energy shield of the Star Destroyer was chopped into pieces by him with a single blow when it was activated. It's bad. We didn't take the initiative to help him. I'm afraid we won't be able to get closer to him. Several people in the Wushuan Alliance felt very regretful at this time. If we had known that this kid was so strong, we should have gone out earlier. It's over now. He's a bit too strong. Everyone, let's not talk about this for now. How are we going to explain to the superiors now? We are afraid that we will lose a powerful partner. Ask Lei Bao. He was the one who suggested that he would not come to rescue Suren because he was afraid of being exposed. He has to bear 2/3 of the responsibility for this. Upon hearing this, Lei Bao suddenly said angrily. Old Taoist priest, what the hell do you mean? Now you want to throw the blame on me. Didn't I ask your opinion before or something? The man dressed as a Taoist priest snorted coldly, at least I didn't nod my head to agree with you. The two of them still wanted to argue, but Yezi frowned and shouted. Enough. I didn't ask you to come here to argue, I asked you to come up with a solution. We did not know that Suren was so powerful beforehand, and everyone is responsible. What we have to do now is to find ways to get closer to each other instead of having these meaningless quarrels here. After hearing this, Lei Bao glared at the old man and then asked. Then what do you think we should do? I'll listen to you this time. If something goes wrong then, don't blame me again. Yezi thought for a while and said slowly, let's go out together later. Pretend that we just came here and act more realistic. We must pay more attention to whether he is injured or something. In short, even if you can't gain his favor, you can't give him a bad impression. Okay, this time we will listen to you. Several people made up their minds and planned to go out later. Going out now seemed too obvious and too coincidental. Here at the Stargate, Suren put away the knife and quietly looked at the stream of light flying into the sky. If Suren saw it correctly, this was an aerial battle armor. And judging from the appearance, it is much stronger than Yun 11's aerial armor. His sword targeted the main ship and frigates, as well as the air and space fighters. Suren couldn't see the people inside, so he couldn't kill them all. However, these battleships are equipped with a large amount of energy materials. The power of the explosion alone is enough to kill most people. This person can escape from the explosion of the main ship, and his strength is definitely not low. But Suren is not afraid, it is the other party who is afraid now. Suren, you. In the communication equipment, Yun 11 spoke with a vibrato. It was obvious that the scene just now frightened her again. What's wrong with me? Your Sky Empire's so-called most powerful warship is nothing more than that. Stop stuttering. Who is this person above? Do you know him? He is the captain of the Star Destroyer, and the aerial battle armor he wears is the strongest of the group except for the 4 major domain lords. Now that he has the blessing of the battle armor, he can at least fight against the strongest in the upper 6 realms. That's right, then he should be very valuable, right? Suren thought about whether to capture him and exchange for some money. Yun 11. How long has it been and you are still thinking about money? If you don't catch him quickly, he will run away. He's really going to run away. At this time, the Star Destroyer captain reacted from the shock and activated all the energy in his armor to escape. He can't run away. Suren reached out and shook his hand, and he easily captured the so-called Star Destroyer captain who could fight against the strongest men in the upper 6 realms. You. Who are you? Why do you want to destroy my fleet? Did you know that this is the Star Destroyer fleet of the Sky Empire? The other person's voice sounded in Suren's mind. Huh? How did he communicate with me? Suren asked Yun 11. You are so powerful, don't you know that you can communicate with your consciousness beyond the upper 5 realms? Is that so? I understand. Yun 11 slapped her forehead, wondering why this man didn't understand anything. She really doubted how Suren cultivated to such a high level of strength. He can destroy the Star Destroyer fleet with one sword, and capture the Star Destroyer captain with his bare hands, who is comparable to the strongest person in the upper 6 realms. In her opinion, Suren was at least in the middle or late stages of the 7th realm. But for such a person who is considered to be a powerful person no matter where she is, she has to ask a person who is not in the upper 3 realms many things. Although Suren was not in the upper 5 realms, he followed his words. I can communicate with others spiritually. As soon as he said this, Suren felt that everything around him was covered by his eyes. Is this divine consciousness? Suren spread his consciousness and first discovered Yun 11 hiding behind the meteorite. Divine consciousness expanded its scope again. Suren saw 7 or 8 people hiding in a dark corner in the distance. One of them is particularly conspicuous wrapped in the black mist. Isn't this the night god from the night god cult? What are they hiding here? Suren withdrew his consciousness and no longer looked at them, but looked at the unable to move captain of the Star Destroyer in front of him. You are coming to destroy my home, and you still have the nerve to ask me why I want to destroy your Star Destroyer fleet. Did you get the order wrong? Hearing this, the Star Destroyer captain was shocked. Are you a sinner in that exiled land? Just as the Star Destroyer captain finished speaking, a sound of cracking bones sounded in his ears. Ah! His right hand was crushed into pieces, and the bones and flesh flew into space together with the metal fragments on the arm of the sky armor. What I hate the most is the way you think you are superior to others. I've caught you and you still dare to talk to me like this. I think you don't want to live anymore. Haha, sinners will always be sinners. You can never change that fact. Even if Suren pinched off an arm, the other party still did not change his words. Upon hearing this, Suren was not angry, but said calmly. Really? If I destroy your sky and sky empire, who will be the guilty people then? You want to destroy the empire? Ha ha ha, Huang Cowboy really doesn't know the heights of heaven and earth. He laughed as if he had heard some big joke. Ha 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 ha, who do you think you are? The Star Destroyer captain looked at Suren with a mocking look on his face, his eyes full of contempt and disdain. I originally wanted to exchange you for some money, but now there's no need. I'll send you down first, and your empire will arrive soon. After Suren finished speaking, he shook his right hand. The Star Destroyer captain's body exploded into pieces along with his suit. Yun 11 saw the scene as soon as she walked over from behind the meteorite. Don't you want to exchange him for money? How do you? I killed so many people in your sky empire in front of you, you don't hate me. Suren turned to look at her. I don't know. Yun 11 lowered her head, not knowing how to answer this question. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I changed my profession and became a concept god, shocking the world with one knife. Author, How Like the Human World. Chapter 399. As a subordinate of the Sky and Sky Empire, she has accepted the ideas instilled by the Sky and Sky Empire since she was a child. Regarding the criminals in various exiled places, she has always received the idea that they are treated like pigs, dogs, and livestock. Killing them requires no psychological burden at all. This is a matter of course and no one would accuse them of their behavior. She thought so at first, but since everyone around her was killed by Suren one by one, she knew there was no difference between herself and those criminals. We are all the same people, and we all have only one life. No one is more noble than anyone else. So she was so scared at the time, she didn't want to die, she wanted to live. She promised that she would never have to look at the lives they ignored again with the same eyes as before. Outside Tianguan, when she saw the humans of Blue Star willing to die to defend their homeland, she finally understood. There is nothing wrong with the people, this is just a crime imposed on them by the Empire. They are all people like her. They also have their own family and friends, and they have things they want to protect with their lives. They don't deserve to be treated like this by the Empire. That's why she told Suren all the information about the Star Destroyer fleet. She hoped that Suren could win. In this way, the tens of billions of people on Blue Star will not die. But, the Sky Empire is also her home. So she didn't know how to answer Suren's question. Seeing her painful and tangled look, Suren shook his head. Forget it, let's go. Hearing this, Yun 11 raised her head and asked confusedly, where are you going? Let's go to your house and have a look. Okay. If you want to go to the Sky Realm, you must go to the Emperor Star of the Sky Empire. Only there is the way to heaven. To go to the Sky Empire Emperor Star, you must first go to the Northern Territory. Just as the two of them were about to enter the Stargate, Yezi and his group flew over from a distance. Everyone acted as if they were rushing over quickly. Suren, wait a minute. Yezi flew to Suren and pretended to be surprised as he looked at the fragments of the Star Destroyer fleet floating around him. You did this. The black mist that enveloped Yezi dissipated, revealing a skinny human face. The two mice's eyes widened, showing a particularly shocked look. Suren looked at his appearance and couldn't help but frown. No wonder this guy is always wrapped in black mist. It turns out he is too ugly. Suren looked at him without speaking, but quietly waited for him to continue his performance. He wanted to see what these people wanted to do. But I have to say that these people's acting skills are indeed good, if Suren hadn't used his spiritual consciousness to scan their hiding place just now. It's really possible to be deceived by them. Is there a problem? Suren replied using his spiritual consciousness. Hearing this, Yezi made an embarrassed expression and said, "Sorry, we are late. We originally wanted to help you fight against the enemy. But fortunately, you are strong enough, and you were able to destroy a Star Destroyer fleet by yourself. No wonder the higher UPS value you so much and want you to join us." These three sentences of Yeza express three meanings respectively. The first one is to say that it's not that I didn't come to help you Suren, but that I didn't come in time, and I hope you can forgive me. The second one was to praise Suren forcibly and praise him for his strength. The last one expressed the intention of himself and others to win over Suren. After hearing what Yeze said, Suren laughed inwardly. Yeze has been able to guard Blue Star for so many years without being discovered by the Sky Empire. It must be said that he is still quite capable. At least his speaking skills are better than those of ordinary people. It's no wonder those people from the Night God sect were bewitched by him. But it's useless no matter how good his acting skills are, because Suren discovered them in advance. Is there anything else? If there's nothing else, I'll leave first. Ah! Yezeo was completely stunned. I have said so much and put so much effort into acting so much, only to get this light sentence, "Are you leaving? Are you listening to me? See you again when you have a chance." After Suren finished speaking, he turned around and walked into the Stargate with Yun 11. He was too lazy to make excuses with these people. Under the flash of blue light from the Stargate, Suren and his two figures had disappeared. There were only a few dumbfounded people left outside the Stargate. After a while, several people said, "Yezi, your method seems to have failed." Yezi looked at the countless metal fragments floating around and sighed. "Oh, forget it, at least they're not enemies. Tell me, what is the strength of Suren? Is it possible that he is stronger than several elders in the Alliance?" After hearing this, several people thought about the scene they just saw. Then he shook his head again. "Probably, isn't it? These elders are truly old monsters who have lived for thousands of years. Everyone's strength is so powerful that they can easily capture the stars and the moon. If Suren is stronger than the elders in the Alliance, then they can no longer imagine what kind of monster Suren is. After all, Suren is only 18 years old. Forget it, let's not talk about this. Let's send the selected people to the Alliance Star first, where their talents can be truly displayed." Several people nodded and went to do their own things. Inside the Stargate, Suren looked at the colorful stream of light that kept retreating. He grabbed it with his hand curiously and found that he couldn't touch anything. Suren looked at the silent girl with her head lowered and asked, "Yun 11, what do you think will happen to us if one end of the Stargate is destroyed by someone when we are riding on it?" Ah! Yun 11 was startled by Suren's sudden question. "What's on your mind?" Suren glanced at her doubtfully. "No. Nothing." Yun 11 shook her head, and then explained Suren's question just now. "If the Stargate is destroyed during the transmission, we will be involved in the turbulence of time and space. If you are not above the upper seventh realm, you will definitely die if you are involved in the turbulence of time and space." "Oh, that's it, then you have to hold on tight." "Huh? What do you mean?" Yun 11 was a little confused. Suren smiled lightly and said, because I gave the Stargate a knife just after I entered it. Now, I guess the knife has arrived. What? Yoon 11 was shocked when she heard this and immediately leaned close to Suren. She never expected that Suren would do this. Why do you want to destroy the Stargate? No reason. Because I can't let anyone threaten Blue Star. There are people on there that I need to protect. If the Stargate is destroyed, at least the people of the Sky Empire will not be able to get through in a short period of time, right? So, you're risking your life just for this. Yoon 11 looked at the young man in front of her in confusion. It turned out that for the sake of his homeland, could he risk his own life? What are you thinking about? I didn't say I was going to die. Just hold on tight. At this time, there was a fluctuation in the space, and the flow of light in the channel began to become chaotic and disorderly. Space began to collapse. Seeing this, Suren calmly shouted into his pet space. Jingling, it's your turn to do your work. I changed my profession and became a concept god, shocking the world with one knife. Author, How Like the Human World. Chapter 400. Come on, come on. An illusory figure appeared beside the two of them. After taking a look at the surrounding situation, Jingling reached out and made a colorful bubble that was the same color as the surrounding space. The bubble wrapped Suren and the two of them and escorted them all the way without any twists and turns. Yoon 11 looked at the glasses spirit with some surprise. She didn't expect that Suren had such a master next to her. Then why weren't they summoned to fight together during the war just now? In fact, what Yoon 11 doesn't know is that this is just the ability of the mirror spirit to control space, and her current strength is not yet at the upper 7th level. It's done. After finishing speaking, Jingling disappeared from the spot. Although the surrounding space was chaotic at this time, it could not affect the two of them. About a minute later, a Stargate appeared in front of the two of them. After leaving the Stargate, a huge galaxy appeared in front of Suren. This is a galaxy consisting of 3 suns and 1 giant planet. The planet is blue as a whole, but it is not the deep blue like a blue star, but a light blue, similar to the light on the Stargate. Yoon 11 pointed to the planet in the distance and explained. This is Biwu Star, our main star in the Northern Territory. That light blue color is the defensive shield of the entire planet. Of course, it also has an identity detection function. If someone who is not from the planet or someone who has been allowed to enter approaches, the defense system will immediately sound an alarm. After Yoon 11 finished speaking, she looked at Suren and asked. Do you want to wait for me here? I am a patrol angel. I can use my identity to help you create a legal identity so that you can enter freely. No, just go there. I have a way to pass. Oh fine. The two flew towards Biwu Star. Tens of minutes later, the two finally arrived outside Biwu Star. A light blue light curtain isolates the entire planet from outer space. Yoon 11 reached out and pressed on the light screen. In an instant, Yoon 11's photos and related information all appeared on the light screen, and then a mechanical voice sounded. Identity verification successful, you can enter. Yoon 11 looked at Suren. She wanted to see how Suren got in. Suren looked at it curiously and stretched out his hand to try. Identity verification failed, entry is not allowed. Not allowed. Suren retracted his hand, then picked up the knife and slashed it out. Let me see if you are right this time. Click. A crisp sound sounded, and the light curtain surrounding Biwu Star shattered instantly. Yoon 11 on the side was dumbfounded, with her mouth open in shock. You told me that you had a way to pass, and this is how you used it? I really believed your evil deeds. How about it? Is my method okay? Suren looked at his masterpiece with satisfaction. Violence can solve everything and defeat all laws with one force. What a ghost, I'm really impressed by you, run away. Yoon 11 grabbed Suren's hand and flew to Biwu Star. Why are you running? Suren looked confused. Why are you running away? You smashed the shield light curtain of Biwistar, and now everyone on Biwistar knows it. If we don't run away we will be besieged. That's right, but there's no need to run. Don't worry, they can't beat me. Yoon 11. Okay, I'm just teasing you, I'm going to scare you. When we get to the ground later, I have a question to ask you. What is the problem? Let's talk about it later. The two of them flew all the way, and Yoon 11 looked really frightened. This is the main star of the northern territory of the Aerospace Empire, and the combat power above cannot be compared to a fleet of star destroyers. Inside the top floor of the tallest building in Biwa City in the center of Biwa Star, a group of senior officials from Biwa Star have gathered here. The Star Destroyer fleet sent to Blue Star has been completely destroyed, and the captain's lifelight has also been extinguished. Everyone, Emperor Seen was furious when he heard the news. His Majesty is still in seclusion, so he doesn't know about it yet. But, before His Majesty leaves the prison, we must find out the real culprit and arrest him. Everyone please give me your opinion. After the director of the Sky Survey Department finished speaking, he first looked at the man in the main seat with his eyes closed, and then looked at everyone in the conference room. Everyone present frowned upon hearing this. If you can destroy a Star Destroyer fleet, the opponent's strength cannot be underestimated. But the Empire has controlled hundreds of galaxies in the four domains for thousands of years, and this is the first time someone dares to attack our fleet. Lord Secretary, I suspect it was the remnants of the Wushuan Alliance who did it. Oh? Tell me. The director of the Sky Survey Department looked at the speaker. The cause of this incident was that a patrol angel was killed on Blue Star. In the end, 5 patrol angels and 6 supervisors went to investigate and were killed. Obviously, in a place of exile like Blue Star, it is impossible for anyone to break through to the lower 9th realm. Even if he breaks through, he would not dare to kill so many people from the Empire so arrogantly. Besides the Peerless Alliance, I can't think of anyone who can help those sinners, have a grudge against the Empire, and have the strength to destroy the Star Destroyer fleet. After the war 1,000 years ago, all the remnants of the Wushuan Alliance who were not killed and captured went into hiding. Recently, my people have discovered traces of their actions. There are signs of a resurgence of the Wushuan Alliance. Wushuan Alliance. The director of the Sky Survey Department tapped the table with his index and middle fingers, as if thinking about something. At this time, the director of the Supervision Department sitting opposite him said coldly, "Let's not talk about the Wushuan Alliance. Isn't a patrol angel named Yoon 11 sent by your Sky Survey Department to Blue Star still alive? If you find her, everything will become clear naturally." Upon hearing this, the director of the Sky Patrol Department said softly, "I will naturally send people to look for my people, but if this matter involves the Wushuan Alliance, we must take precautions. I have sent a group of stronger patrol angels to Blue Star to investigate again. If something happens to them again, the matter can only be reported to the Emperor Star and the Empire will be asked to handle it." Just as the director of the Sky Survey Department finished speaking, he suddenly frowned. "My people sent news that the other party destroyed the Stargate near Blue Star. Blue Star cannot get through for the time being. It seems that they have been prepared. These rats want to see the light, don't they?" In the conference room, basically everyone felt that this was done by someone from the Wushuan Alliance. Only the Peerless Alliance can easily destroy a fleet of Star Destroyers. "Lord Territory Lord, how do you think this matter should be handled?" Everyone looked at the man in the main seat who was concentrating with his eyes closed. This person has fiery red hair and a resolute face. Even with his eyes closed, you can feel a strong sense of oppression from between his brows. This person is none other than Hong Yan, the domain lord of the northern domain among the 4 domains of the Sky and Sky Empire. Hong Yan slowly opened his eyes. The conference room instantly became extremely hot, as if even the air was about to burn. Hong Yan looked at everyone and said calmly. Follow the investigation with all our strength. If there are remnants of the Wushuan alliance, we can kill them first and report them later. I would rather kill 1,000 people by mistake than let one person go. As soon as Hong Yan finished speaking, an alarm sounded in Biwa City. Alarm, Biwa's defense light curtain has been destroyed, and there is an enemy invasion.